Good evening, everyone. This is the work session of the Mayor and Council for Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. This meeting is also being conducted telephonically. The dial-in number is 425-436-6365 with an access code of 213563#. You may also view this meeting on the Ramsey YouTube channel. And instead of me reading this long name, you can go to our borough website, and it will direct you where to go. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of all citizens to have advance notice of and to attend all meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the public is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, notice of the meeting of the mayor and council was published in the Bergen Record and the Ridgewood News on Friday, January 15th, 2020. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Dillon,
Here.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Here.
Councilman Gutwetter,
Here.
Councilman Kilman,
Here.
Councilwoman Poppy,
Here.
Councilman Weber,
Here.
and Councilwoman Woods.
Here.
Thank you. We're standing for flag salute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have approval of minutes?
Yes, Council President, I move that the minutes from the February 9th, 2022 meeting and the February, of the work session, and then the regular session on February 23rd, 2022 be approved.
Right.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes? Not seeing any. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter,
Yes.
Councilman Kilman,
Yes, except I abstained from the 23rd. I was not in attendance.
Councilwoman Poppy,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. On communications, I make a motion to receive and file the communications as listed on our agenda of March 9th. Can I have a second?
This is Councilwoman Cusick, and I would like to second.
Thank you. Any comments on the communications? Not seeing any. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter,
Yes.
Councilman Kilman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy,
Yes.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving into public comment. Anyone wishing to address the governing body and giving your name, spelling your last name, and giving your address, please speak in an audible tone and address your comments to the chair. There will be a 5-minute time limit per speaker unless reduced because of the volume of business on the agenda. Please note, public comment is your time. Out of respect and fairness to all, there will be no interruptions or questions answered during your time. No time shall be ceded to anyone else, and no time shall be saved for later use. Any responses may be given during the governing body's comments later in the meeting or as directed by the chair. The borough clerk is the official timekeeper. Do we have any public? And again, anyone from the public, this is our second asked for you to give public comment. And thirdly, public comment. If anyone has anything to say to the governing body, now is your time. Not seeing or hearing anyone, we will close public comment. Excuse me. Roll call.
Not to close.
There are no, there's no advertised public hearing for final consideration of ordinances. There are no appointments. And moving to consent resolutions.
Thank you, Council President Kilman. Be it resolved that resolutions 069-2022 through and including 080-2022, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Ramsey, be and are hereby passed and approved. There is a couple of special permit requests. The Minetti Dentist Group is requesting permission to hold their own annual town-wide garage sale on Saturday, May 7th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the Knights of Columbus is requesting permission to collect funds for people with disabilities on Friday, May 13th through Sunday, May 15th at Bottle King, Ramsey Liquors, Bagel Boys, Bueno Bagels, B&G Bagels, Walgreens, and Uncle Giuseppe's, having received permission from all store owners. There are no block party requests this evening.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We'll now move into committee and liaison reports, and we will go to Finance and Administration. Councilman Gutwetter, please.
Thank you again, Council President Kilman. Later on tonight, we'll be introducing the budget for 2022 municipal budget. The municipal budget presentation was made at the February 23rd meeting. Tonight, the 2022 municipal budget will be introduced with the resolution to approve the introduced budget. The budget will subsequently be advertised in the newspaper, posted on the borough website, and a public hearing is scheduled for April 13th, mayor and council meeting. At the April 13th meeting, subsequent to the public hearing, the 2022 budget will then be considered for adoption by the governing body. While the detailed 2022 municipal budget presentation is available on the borough website, there are a few overview points on the budget, which I'd like to reiterate from last meeting. This budget meets the objective of adopting a prudent and responsible budget while continuing to provide a high level of service to taxpayers. The municipal tax rate increase in 2022 is 1.79%, which for the 12th consecutive year will be below 2%. The budget includes significant capital investment without borrowing. Utilizing funds from the American Rescue Plan and grants, Ramsey actively sought and received, mitigating taxpayer impact for infrastructure investments. Ramsey ranks in the lowest tier of municipal tax rates in Bergen County, with the 6th lowest of 70 municipalities' share of tax dollars going to municipal services at 19.4%. This is 54% below the countywide average of 30.1% of taxes to municipal services. Ramsey maintains favorable ranking for municipal tax rates, debt, and surplus levels with other Northwest Bergen municipalities. And lastly, the 2022 budget continues to reduce municipal debt levels while addressing necessary capital infrastructure investments. As for my committee and liaison reports, the library board will meet next week. Just a couple items that the library director wanted me to bring to everybody's attention. There was a Winterfest held on February 26th. I'll give more details in our following meeting. New Jersey Makers Day is later on this month in March. There are two events, one on the Friday the 25th and one on Saturday the 26th. More details will follow. And the new mask policy following the governor's guidelines, as well as the Ramsey Schools and Borough Hall, the library has adopted a mask optional policy for all visitors and staff. This went into effect on March 1st. And Recreation Committee will meet a week or so from now, so I'll have more information at our next meeting. And lastly, on a pool commission, early registration is open and the discount will expire on April 30th, so there's still plenty of time to take advantage. Anyone has any questions on the pool for this year, please send an email through ramseymunicipalpool@gmail.com. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Gutwetter. Public safety is my report. There's no VFW report tonight, and the Board of Health will be meeting tomorrow, and I expect to have their report at our next meeting. And that's all I have. Going to Building, Planning, and Zoning, Councilwoman Jane Woods.
Thank you, Council President. The senior trustee meeting will be tomorrow So I have nothing to report there. Nothing for the Design Review Board. Their meeting is March 22nd. And the Zoning Board of Adjustment meets next week on March 16th. I can report that the Overnight Parking Committee is working on a solution, and I have reached out to the individual residents that were affected to let them know that we are coming up with a solution. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Utilities, Buildings, and Grounds, Councilwoman Judy Cusick.
Thank you, Council President Gilman. This report will provide an update regarding our Planning Board, our Shade Tree Commission, and our Board of Public Works. There was a Planning Board meeting on the 1st of March, 2022. During this meeting, there were 6 site plan waivers, all of which were approved. There were no public hearings. Our next meeting is the 15th of March, 2022. The Ramsey Shade Tree Commission last met on the 17th February 2022. The next commission meeting is on the 17th of March 2022. Regarding the Ramsey Board of Public Works, the Board of Public Works last met on the 28th February 2022. The next meeting is the 21st of March 2022. In our last few meetings, I've discussed the lead service line project, and I'd like to continue this, please. Ramsey submitted their inventory of the known lead service water lines to the NJDEP in January 2022 as required by law. The inventory has been posted on Ramsey's website and will be updated periodically as other lead service lines are discovered through future investigation. A notice was sent out by the borough in February 2022 to all customers with known lead service lines or galvanized service lines as required by the law. A permission form was also included with that mailing, requesting property owners' consent to having their portion of lead service lines replaced. The next steps for the work to be done, there will be a formal lead service line replacement plan prepared for the borough and submitted to the NJDEP in July of 2022. This plan will detail Ramsey's strategy for investigating and identifying all the unknown service line materials and also for the subsequent replacement of all known lead service lines. Mr. Council President, that's my report for tonight.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cusick. Moving to Public and Governmental Relations, Councilwoman Sarah Poppy.
Thank you very much, Council President Gilman. The Ramsey Municipal Alliance met last month. They have scheduled their annual, aside from COVID, Meet the Police and Drug Take Back event at the Farmers Market on Sunday, June 5th. Gizmo D. Robot will be making a return appearance to entertain market-goers with his tips on how to stay healthy and make the best choices for our bodies and minds. Some Ramsey tie-dye shirts may also still be available for sale. LEAD has resumed their mental wellness lunches and have included Don Bosco as well. Officer Beeman is excited to continue his passion project, holding a junior police academy this summer. The Ramsey Municipal Alliance will also be offering a scholarship to a high school student who demonstrates healthy choices and prevention leadership initiatives. Hubbard School will be bringing back Attitudes in Reverse again this year, where they will have a number of therapy dogs in attendance for a May assembly. This has been a real hit for the kids over the years, and the RMA is very excited to continue sponsoring it. Also, Ramsey Stigma Free will now become a subcommittee of the Ramsey Municipal Alliance. The details are still being worked out, but it's a natural fit for the RMA, as mental wellness is a part of their mission, and they generally work hand in hand with Stigma Free anyhow. The next RMA meeting is open to the public and will be held on March 28th at 7:30 p.m. in council chambers. The Ramsey Farmers Market continues to run on Sundays from 10 to 1 outdoors at the train station through April. But beginning in May, the hours will change to 9 to 2. You can go to ramseyfarmersmarket.org to sign up for their newsletter, which is fantastic. It goes out Thursday nights, and it lists all of the exciting vendors and entertainment to expect that upcoming Sunday. Excitingly, the Ramsey Journal is coming back. I just sent out the email on Monday evening asking for submissions. They will need to be received by April 15th for us to have them in mailboxes by the week of May 16th. Any new leaders of organizations who may not have received this email can contact the Journal at ramseyjournal@gmail.com, and it is now being monitored regularly. The Ramsey Chamber of Commerce is planning their next meeting for March 30th with SCORE as their speaker. They will provide the information via Facebook invite on the Chamber Facebook page. I would also like to encourage everyone to shop local. We have some great storefronts in town, as well as many retailers without a storefront. RamseyChamber.com or the Facebook page are both good sources for information on local wares and services. The 4th of July fireworks, this year, the July celebration has been slated for July 1st with a rain date of July 2nd. I look forward to my first year working on this event. Thank you to Bruce Bose in advance for the work he has started and all of his efforts to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Poppy. Health, Education, and Social Services, Councilman Weber.
Thank you, Councilman Kilman. Starting with the Ramsey is for Everyone organization, we had another fantastic event this past Friday night. We had over 50 of our special needs participants at an event down at Humdinger's in Paramus for a night of bowling, arcades, and pizza. Just a really spectacular event. We're getting a lot more participants from surrounding towns, and they're just so complimentary of the program that Ramsey offers to our special needs kids. We're wrapping up the basketball season with them this Saturday, and we'll take a little bit of a break before we start the softball season later in April. The Environmental Committee had a really productive meeting last night. A lot of big items discussed. A few items of note. We want to make sure that we get reminders out to our residents that the ban on the single-use plastic bags goes into effect May 4th. And just want to make sure that people are aware that that's coming. They had in the past, we've had very successful styrofoam drives. They're starting to look to see if we can plan another one maybe for the fall. We had a joint meeting actually early with the Shade Tree Commission to discuss some concerns that there are some contractors, several from out of state, that are being used to and basically with they're violating the 6-tree limit without permission. So there's been some discussion to see how we can address that issue. And the committee will continue to work on ideas for that. And then finally, with the environmental, cleanup day is scheduled for April 9th. All the logistics are falling nicely into place. So if anybody has teams or things they want to do to sign up to help do the cleanup day, I know we've done this in the past. I've walked the streets of with many of you cleaning up all the winter debris. It's actually a fun day. I don't have anything to report on the Board of Ed other than to say that the basketball team has had a pretty incredible week with some very exciting wins over Pequannock and Mawa. And I wish them the best of luck as they continue on in their tournament brackets moving forward. Ramsey responds nothing specific to report other than to say that they continue their outreach to support families in need and always appreciate the donation and the generosity of our Ramsey community. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Weber. And now, our mayor, Deirdre Dillon.
Thank you, Council President Kilman. Just a few things. I'm going to steal some thunder for Borough Administrator Bose. Just to let everybody know, the facade work on the East Oak Street well, the contract has been awarded. And because we previously budgeted the money for $220,000, I believe it was, right? Yeah, $222,000 budgeted last year. We don't have to put any new money towards it this year. So we'll get that work going, and then that way the well house will look very nice. It will be very complimentary to the senior community center right across the street. Regarding the situation in Ukraine, the fire department and the rescue department are going through all their inventory of older equipment. And this equipment is still serviceable and usable, but according to standards in the United States, it is past its useful life. So they're going through, coming with all the inventory of that equipment. The equipment will be gathered. It'll then be brought down to Clifton, because the Clifton Fire Department is coordinating it, and they will make sure that the equipment gets delivered to the Ukraine. So we will be needing to do a resolution in the future on that, just to basically do the write-off on the equipment, but we'll wait till we have the list. Also, there's a list for humanitarian aid that is, we started circulating last night and this morning. And the collections for this stuff is at the library, and the library has the list as well. So I gave that to the library director today. St. Paul's Food Pantry has volunteered to also collect, be a depository. And the articles that we're talking about, it's like you're reading the inventory list for a trauma center. So, if you have that list, I know Sarah was going to share it with some others. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Poppy, Councilman Weber was going to share it with the Knights. So the list is floating around if anybody finds in their heart to do it. And actually, this is being coordinated by a lady in town. I spoke with her several times last night. She's Ukrainian American. And it's St. Paul's Ukrainian Church. So they need all the help that they can get. Yep, and Councilwoman Cusick was kind enough to take the list that I had and put it into an Excel spreadsheet to make it easy for everybody to use. Now, another thing that's going on in town, we have a new rave communication system that's replacing Nixle and SwiftReach. So if anybody has any questions, please check out the OAM website for more information. I will be doing a new rave message on the system tomorrow. It'll be my first time trying out this system. And basically what it does, it takes 3 different types of communication platforms, puts them onto one platform, so it's text, it's voicemail, and it's a few others, puts it all onto one platform, and we're saving money because it's all on one platform. We won't have to be paying Nixle and SwiftReach anymore. It's just one platform, okay? So I want to let everybody know, make sure you sign up for it, and it's a really powerful system, and you can get it by text, you can get it by voicemail, all kinds of things. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor Dillon. Our Borough Administrator, Mr. Bruce Bozak.
Thank you, Council President. I'll just go over a few of the resolutions and other items on tonight's agenda. Resolution 72, would just point out, is we are waiving late fees in the month of March for pets licensing. We had implemented a new pet registration software system for 2022 and incorporated into that for the first time is the ability for residents to do online renewals. Between the learning curve of any new system and the continued backlog with residents being able to secure vet appointments for their rabies, we have implemented a 1-month through the end of March delay in charging late fees on pet registrations for 2022. Resolution 73 deals with getting rid of obsolete equipment. What I would say, we talk about this a number of times when we dispose of equipment, but I'll just comment that basically this is because of our internal control policies, we actually have a fixed asset audit. So any item that the borough owns over a certain dollar threshold is tagged with a unique code. So the auditors will come around every year to see that those items are there, or if they're not there, that there's something, a reason why, that they didn't just walk away, that we actually did properly dispose of them and that. So it's part of our internal control policy. So I just wanted to mention about why we go through that process of putting a resolution on. Resolution 74 is entering into a grant agreement with the County of Bergen for Community Development Block Grant for handicap bathrooms on the first floor of Borough Hall. We've talked about this project. As you can see, the construction is underway outside. We are redoing through 2 different grants, one for the second floor and one for the first floor bathrooms in this building. The work is underway. It should be done in the next several weeks. And through the grants, we will be covering approximately 80% of the taxpayer cost of these improvements through the grants we have sought out and been approved for. Other items on the agenda, Resolution 77, we are establishing the position for Senior Community Center Facility Coordinator. With our COVID numbers on the decline, hopefully for good, we'll be returning to more in-person senior activities at the center as well as the community center. We've also seen an uptick in community groups looking to utilize the community center as these groups get back to in-person meetings or activities. We've already hosted a number of organizational meetings, clothing drives, Rife events, health clinics. We have a blood drive later in the year. And as this activity increases, we need someone to meet with the groups at the facility to go over the layout, amenities, logistics of their use, et cetera. While I've done this for some of the groups, I think the borough is better served having a part-time employee on site to coordinate that. Roger Canals, in his volunteer role as president of the seniors, is very familiar with the facility, has worked with many of these groups already, and is in the best position to seamlessly handle this part-time role. I would recommend the governing body establish this position and appoint Mr. Canals to the position. Resolution 78 sets the salaries for a couple certain part-time employees that are non-union. This is the annual stipends for the municipal judge and the community senior center facility coordinator, and those are set for the municipal judge, Honorable Joseph Rotolo, who's been in his role with the borough since 2010, and also for Mr. Knaus, the new facility coordinator. Resolution 80 authorizes the borough to submit a grant application to Bergen County CDBG COVID-19 funding. This is specifically targeted to existing or proposed activities to prepare for, prevent, or respond to problems and needs from the pandemic. There's additional funding available through this program. The restrictions and guidelines, though, limit it for Ramsey to senior-related activities. Typically, CDBG grants are for prospective projects going forward and future costs. However, this allows for recent or past expenditures. It's a competitive process, and all items are applied for may not make the cut, but we're submitting for the following senior center items of the furniture that's been put in place, the computer touchscreen for contactless check-in, as well as the acoustic panels that we have just ordered, and seeking that total for reimbursement. Ordinance 4 that's on the agenda tonight for introduction. As a follow-up to one of our meetings with a utility contractor who will be doing work in Ramsey and requiring off-duty police officers, Officer Canonico and I discussed reviewing our ordinance for off-duty work relative to neighboring municipalities. As part of that review process, we're recommending an update to the borough code regarding off-duty police fees. Currently, Ramsey recoups the overtime any officer receives for the detail, as well as a daily fee for the vehicle. We're proposing to modify the daily vehicle fee and include it into an hourly administration/equipment fee. By modifying all charges to an hourly rate rather than hourly and daily, it'll simplify the billing procedure for administration. In addition, it will codify in our code book all the structure of our fees. Municipal budget, Councilman Gutwitter spoke about, so that concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bozay. Counselor?
Yes, just an update. The revised cannabis ordinance and the off-street parking ordinance, I expect to have ready for the committees early next week. Okay? That's
Thank
it.
you,
Thank
Counselor.
you.
Borough Clerk, Ms. Bendian?
I have nothing, thank you.
All right. Thank you. I will be introducing an ordinance this evening. Ordinance 04-2022. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Amending Chapter 2 of the Code of Borough of Ramsey, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, so as to establish Section 2-32.15 thereof entitled Contractual Off-Duty Employment," pass the first reading by title, and the second ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the mayor and council to be held on the 23rd day of March, 2022, at 7:30 p.m. or prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough. And be it further resolved that the borough clerk be, and she hereby is, instructed to publish an official newspaper of the borough in the manner provided by law, a copy of said ordinance, together with a notice of introduction thereof, and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Thank you. I have no additional comment to add to Mr. Bozay's detailed explanation. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwitter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes.
There's no unfinished business. I see. Any unfinished business, rather, is a question. None? Any new business?
Yes, Council President Kilman, we have some new business this evening. We have a resolution for the introduction of the 2022 municipal budget. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenue and appropriations shall constitute the approved municipal budget for the year 2022. Under current fund, under general appropriations, appropriations within caps for municipal purposes, $20,873,120. Appropriations excluded from caps for municipal purposes, $5,712,667.69. Reserve for uncollected taxes, $1,050,000. Total general appropriations, $27,635,787.69. Less anticipated revenues, $8,384,602.18. Therefore, the total to be raised by taxes is allocated as follows. Local tax for municipal purposes will be $17,996,747.57, and the minimum library tax will be $1,254,437.94. The water and sewer utility fund appropriations and utility revenues will be $8,285,000, and the swimming pool utility fund appropriations and corresponding utility revenues will be $740,000. That concludes this resolution.
Thank you, Councilman Gutwitter. Do we have a second?
This is Councilwoman Cusick. I second.
Thank you. That brings us to adjournment. Do I have a motion to?
Roll.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwitter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods?
Yes.
And now, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Motion
moved.
to adjourn.
And second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
So 8:06.